I work for a national car repair and tire company. I am the manager and am a nice guy, but that doesn't mean you can be mean. Today we had a 20-year-old European car come in. The customer complained that his brakes are squeaking. He wants an air conditioning recharge. He did not request an air conditioning inspection, I offered. He chose to just have it evacuated and recharged. His AC didn't get substantially colder, but did. Our procedure, as I explained, means we put a dye in the AC refrigerant and inspect it a few days later for evidence of the dye, only seen with a clock light and special glasses. His brakes were brand new from some other company and shop. He got the brakes over a year ago but drove less than 1,000 miles, very rarely, and it sat most of the time. I explained to him that he needs to return to the original shop and request a different quality brake pad and to replace TE rotors. If he got it done at my company I would eat the cost and replace them under warranty. He called about 30 minutes after his wife picked up the car and complained the AC was not cold. It was only 60 F today, so I don't know how, and his brakes still squeaked. I tried to, yet again, explain the process, and that his brakes were safe, brand new, and needed a higher quality pad to remove the squeak. While I was trying to explain, he told me not to interrupt him, that his kids do that, and he started berating me. I hung up on him. He called back and half-heartedly apologized and started in again at the yelling. I hung up on him again. He called a third time and I told him, I will refund his service, as I am no longer able to service his vehicle. I will lose your business rather than have you insult me or my techs. Edited, spelling, thanks you, Guy. I was the only cashier tonight due to people calling out, and I had a long line that I was getting through as quickly as I could. This lady came in for a pickup order, but for whatever reason, instead of getting in line she hovered off to the side. I think she expected someone to come out of the kitchen with her order beeline over to her. So I'm finishing up the last customer in the line, and she finally comes over and says she's trying to get her pickup order. I get her name and open the ticket. I'm about to give her the total, and she just starts laying into me about how unacceptable it is that her order isn't ready, and her sick elderly mother is in the car, and can I please speed this up somehow. It had been a really stressful shift and I pretty rudely snapped back that I was trying to ring her up and angrily told her the total. Then I turned and grabbed her order that was right behind me and made her a drink. I think that she realized that she was in the wrong then, because when I turned back around she had tears in her eyes and stammered out that she was really sorry. I immediately felt terrible, because we were both taking out our day on each other, and as much as customers piss me off, I hate upsetting someone like that. I told her I was sorry too, and that I hope her mother feels better soon. I felt awful about it all night. Just posting to vent. During my time working, I have had people get mad, complain, plead, and even try to tell me their ID was still good. But never have I had this happen. So I am at the counter, keeping an eye out on customers when a lady and her boyfriend came in. She put her ID on the counter and asked for cigarettes. The moment I saw that it was expired, I told her that I cannot sell to her and gave it back. She got mad, doing the usual tirade of your coworkers accepted it before and other places are okay with it. I have heard these so many times that I just drown them out and continue to explain. Then she said something I have never heard before. I will sue if you do not sell them to me. Now that caught me off guard, as I never had a customer threaten to sue before, and all this because I wouldn't accept her ID. But even then I stayed my ground and just kept explaining the policy, the laws, and what happens if I do not comply. She kept using the suing excuse and I was very close to just telling her do it, try to sue, good luck trying to find a judge that won't just dismiss it. She finally relented, bought 2 things of Pepsi and left. It sounded like she was using that as a scare tactic to make me comply. But unluckily for her, I know the law and know a place that has closed for not following the law multiple times. I am not a spineless worker. This story comes from years ago, back when I worked retail. Anyways, I spot this gentleman walking up and down the toilet aisle looking confused. I go up to him to ask if he need help. He says yes. He explains to me that there has been a great accident with one of his toilets and it needed to be replaced. I then ask him about his budget and what product he was thinking about to best guide him. Eventually I guide him to a toilet that he said he liked, but then and #X200B. He explains to me that he wants us to customize a toilet to best suit his needs. He said his bathroom was one of those 70s bathrooms with a green bathtub and sink. The problem was this was the mid-2000s and every single toilet in the store was white. He then whips out a Polaroid picture of his toilet, God only knows why he had that, and says he wants a toiletry finished to match that. He even said that he wants the flusher handle moved from the side to the front of the toilet and wants us to swap in his old flusher. I explained that we do not refinish or customize toilets, and he asks if we can special order a customized toilet for him. I told him that we cannot unfortunately, and his best bet would be to try to find one used from someone who recently renovated their bathroom. He said he will call around and see what he can get done. And #X200B. He never got angry, but just seemed disappointed and left without a toilet. Years ago, was working loss prevention. I was the closer, so it was my job at the end of the night to lock up the store, do an audit by sweeping the space for tampered security devices, cases, and collect everyone's keys. As such, I am the last one out of the store with the mod. Just a few minutes before close, a large family comes in and eventually gets to browsing computers, believe they were looking at laptops. People start to funnel out and employees lock up the registers as they also begin to leave. At some point it's just the family talking to our computer guy and I'm told to lock up, we'll let them out. The employee exit. I do so, and it's seriously another 15-20 minutes that this family is talking to our computer guy. Lights are out everywhere else, it's basically just me, the mod, and computer guy. The mod is telling me they better buy something and that he was impatient to get home. Finally, like half an hour after close, the family leave in a huff and we let them out. No purchases. What was keeping us back for nothing? Well, we have a price matching policy, and apparently one of them was trying to get computer guy to match prices to a listing of the same computer being sold in Brazil. And we were having to repeatedly explain that we only price match with local retailers. I am a teenager working at a retail establishment that sells pop culture stuff in general, but this story has to do with manga specifically. A customer, who was for sure older than I was, asked why some manga was wrapped. In an attempt to avoid an awkward situation, I said most manga is wrapped because it has mature content. For example, a manga with excessive violence may be wrapped to prevent people who shouldn't see that stuff from flipping through it in the store. After this answer, she sort of gave me a look like she knew everything and said, "So there's naked girls doing naughty acts in wrapped manga?" Absolutely lost for words, I kinda just looked at her and said well yes, that can be a reason why manga gets wrapped. She followed up with, "Thanks, I just wanted somebody to say it out loud," and promptly left the store. What was I even supposed to do there? She was a grown woman, so it was very awkward for her to be asking these questions, especially because she was alone. I could understand if maybe she was with a child and was genuinely interested, but she was completely alone. The last comment also throws me off too. She just wanted someone to say it out loud. It made for a funny conversation with my coworker who was standing next to me when it happened.